You know that I feel the same way. That's a very few number. Man, the passion, edge, energy from our fan base. I've been in a lot of competitive arenas as a player and as a coach. There was nothing better that I've ever been in than what happened on Saturday night.
Just look around. You got the mountains, you got the most beautiful city in the whole entire country. The university is absolutely, looks like it's out of a storybook. It's just beautiful. People are incredibly genuine and extremely nice. It's just a place that obviously I'd want my kids to go to school. And it sells itself. You don't have to sell anything about this place. You just got to get them here. You know, the old field of dreams. Yeah. Build it and they will come. It's already built.
Pardon me and my tone. You can't step to my throne. They ain't working like me. I did this on my own. You asking where we been, huh? I don't know where to begin, huh? All this dirt on my skin. I just came here to win. I'm more than a man, I'm a monster. Somebody call a pastor, doctor. I got a 6 cents for imposters. So now I'm coming for the whole roster. It's not a game, why you playing with me? You could double back, lose track, try and hang with me. It must be in my veins, something you can't tame, cause I break the chains. Can't control me. I got the power, I got the keys, cause I break the chains. They try to hold me, I'ma push back, just wait till you see.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. This is the Talkin VAWLS Christmas special. I figured by the time it's all said and done, it's going to be up there with Christmas Vacation, with Charlie Brown Christmas, A Christmas Story, all those old faithfuls. My name is Boogie Bentley.
I'm Dobber.
And I'm the Indie Kid.
This is the Christmas special fan appreciation night. We got nothing planned. I told these guys right before we went live, absolutely nothing planned. No fan questions, no notes, no bullet points, nothing to talk about. This is your show. We're going to get you guys on here in just a moment, but it wouldn't be Christmas if we didn't say this is a heartfelt message from myself, Dobber, and the Indie Kid directly to you.
Sure. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
Merry Christmas. Let's run down the chat. Let's see who is hanging out with us bright and early. Let me get back up here. I'm struggling. John Bell in the house. He was here about an hour and a half ago. He says, I'm first in line. I think he had a tent pitched outside of Best Buy waiting for those holiday specials. Wayne Starnes in the house. Tim Bradley is here. Glad we moved the show to Tuesday instead of Wednesday. Fighting Eagle in the house talking about Coach Hypel hitting that eggnog in the cover photo. The Southern Life is trying to buy steaks for everyone on my dime. I can assure you, the Southern Life, that's not happening. Derek Rogers is here, says Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and yours. Elijah Allen in the house says, I appreciate y'all. We appreciate you guys being here. Derek Rogers, Sherry Darnell, Vol Guy 23, John Watts in the house, Eric Ash Jones, Fallout Zone is here, John Hill is here. I'm going as fast as I can. Let's run it down, see who is in the house. Tech Shop Talk is here. Drew Truesdale, Travis Melvin, Jeremy Webb. Guys, come on in. Welcome to the show. Hit that thumbs up. Let's get it out of the way early, and then we'll get into this thing. Yeah, Wayne. I love Eddie. Let's talk a little Christmas. Why not? Why not? It's the Christmas special. Indie Kid, what is the greatest Christmas special of all time?
Die Hard.
That might offend some people. It is a Christmas movie, man. It's a Christmas movie.
Christmas Story's hard to beat, though.
Do you think that maybe they lost their luster? I was watching a YouTube show earlier. They were talking about the best Christmas specials, movies, whatever. And it's like back in the day, if you wanted to watch A Christmas Story, you had to sit down and catch it at the time they aired it. But now it's, tradition. It's all day. It's like a 24-hour marathon. Do you think they've lost their luster a little bit, Dauber?
No, man, it's classic. It's tradition. You can pick it up anytime during the day, and man, just so many good one-liners. I actually went to Barter Theater this weekend and saw A Christmas Story done as a play. It was pretty good. Christmas Vacation's probably right up there with me. And Elf. The kids love Elf. That's a good new one. So
yeah, Christmas Vacations, that's the one for me. I saw somebody in the chat there talking about Home Alone. We actually just watched that the other day, but it's hard to beat. It's hard to beat.
Hey, Griswold, where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you.
It's hard to beat Christmas Vacation. Travis Melvin in the house with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate it. It says, go Big Orange. Love the show. Thank you, Travis. We appreciate you being here. John Hill for 10. Right on, guys. Die Hard is a wonderful Christmas movie. Well, let's jump into it. Let's talk a little football. Like I said, we're going to send the link out to you guys here in just a moment. To the members of the channel, if you want to join the show, make sure you've got a microphone tuned in, have some headphones in, get the background noise down just a little bit, and we'll send the link out to the community tab here shortly. If you want to be a part of that, right below the video where it says subscribe, hit that join button, and you can become a member for as little as 99 cents a month. Really not a lot of news this week. That's why I wanted to kind of do this fan show. You guys were on board with it. But there was some news. What was it? Yesterday, day before yesterday, VFL legacy Navy Schuler. Any kid, what'd you think about that just in general?
I mean, it's cool. It's cool to see him come to Knoxville. Cool to see another Schuler come home. 4 years to play. I think it's a quarterback who you can come in and develop. And the days of going out and having multiple and numerous 4- and 5-star guys just waiting, it's over with the portal. You're seeing it at different schools who were loaded with quarterbacks through recruiting. This is the type of guy you need in your program to develop. I don't know if he'll be a starter at any point or anything, but definitely will provide some depth in the system. I like the pickup, and I like the potential of what. Again, I don't expect him to be his dad by any means, but you need guys who you can develop in the program. And he's been in a college program for 2 years, so
I think you bring
welcome
up
home.
A good point talking about the transfer portal kind of changing things. And I talked about that in a quarterback video I made, because who wants to come here and play backup behind Hendon Hooker? Like, it's not going to happen. And, I was talking about how crucial it was that Joe Milton was coming back. Like, and things may change between now and next fall, but as of now, it seems like he's coming back, and he's content to do that and sit and wait. And if God forbid something happens to Hendon Hooker, he'll step up. But I think that's huge for this football team because of, like you said, the way the transfer portal is changing things. But as far as Navy Schuler, I like the story because Dobber, he's not on scholarship. He left a scholarship position at Appy State to come home, and we talk about the pride of wearing that power tee, and that's exactly what Navy Schuler's doing.
absolutely. And I think it's great. You've got a kid that, like you said, is giving up a scholarship to come as a walk-on, preferred walk-on, however they want to phrase it. But he's going to be hungry. He's at least going to be competing for a backup spot. You've got Milton, who we've kind of shelved, and everybody's off that bandwagon. And then you've got a true freshman coming in. So there's potential he could come in and be your number two.
I think that's the story, is if he can fight, compete, and earn a scholarship. I think that's the story. And then if that happens, who's to say he doesn't work his way up to number two? But I'm not done with Joe Milton. Obviously, Hendon Hooker's the guy, but we'll see what happens. But I think that Navy Schuler, just like the Indy kid said, I think he just adds depth to the position, something that you need.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of the transfer portal.
And that's something that we talked about, Hypel and staff looking in the transfer portal for depth and a little bit more in the quarterback room. And you've got a guy walking on for you that, like Indy Kid said, has 2 years of college experience. So it's a big plus. Nice pickup. And, a legacy and good story. So we'll see how it plays out.
I saw somebody here in the comments, Jordan asking, send the link. It won't let me join the channel. If you're on an Apple or an iPhone, Apple product, it won't let you join on the app. You have to go in through your internet browser. Once you join, you can come back to the app. So that's the only problem. But if you do that, I'm going to go ahead and put it out now. Going to go, if you're a member of the channel, go to the community tab. The link is there. It's there now. So you guys can click that and come on in. We're going to let you run the show. I have no idea how this is going to go. Like I said, I have no topics, nothing planned. It's going to be your show tonight, so we'll see what happens. Here's a super chat from Lambin Reviews for 5. Thank you for the super chat on Facebook. Talkin VAWLS. People consider me number 2. Love you guys. A number 2. Who does number 2 work for, Lambin? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. While we wait on guys to filter in, anything you guys want to talk about?
Some of them mentioned it with Fant and Warren coming back.
Yep.
I think that's big for the offense. Shouldn't be much excuses for the offense next year. It's still interesting to see what Cade Mays does on it. I'll be surprised if he comes back. But I still think adding another receiver would be big, and I don't know, it's not looking real good on running back, but I mean, you've got a stable running backs if Small and Wright and maybe Whitehead, if these guys can continue to develop, maybe you don't need another back next year. But yeah, I mean, especially with Justin Williams and Sampson coming in. Also, offense should be, I hate to say just as good as last year, because you're going to miss Velus Jones, you're going to miss Peyton. But if they can develop, and I really think that Tillman will be back as well. He hasn't announced it, obviously, but I'll be surprised if he's not back. Should be fun. Should be a fun offense again next year.
Yeah, like you just said, I think that despite the guys we're losing, we've added some, and then there are some other athletes coming along that you hope another year in this program, another year in the system, they're going to continue to develop and keep clicking.
Well, I think you got to look at this season and what they did. You know, who were the biggest contributors? They were mostly from the transfer portal. Obviously, Cedric Tillman wasn't, but other than that, you know, Velus Jones, Hendon Hooker was from the transfer portal. Javonte Payton. I thought it was an interesting question that somebody posed on VolQuest asking Hubbs and Austin Price what they thought was more important to add through the portal, an outside wide receiver or a running back. But they both said outside receiver. And I agree with that. I think to be a running back, to add a running back, I think it's got to be a special type of kid. You got good running backs with Jabari Small, Jalen Wright. So, like you said, any kid, you hope the other guys come along and add a little depth there. But if you're going to add somebody in the portal at running back, it's got to be somebody special, somebody different, a big physical type of running back.
I mean, a Gibbs or a Bigsby. I think he went back to Auburn. I saw Gibbs went to Alabama today.
I don't get that. That makes no sense to me.
Well, I mean, they got Gibbs, and then they got Ricks from LSU corner. I mean, Alabama just they just reload every year. It's ridiculous. And
does it go back to the transfer portal benefits Alabama more than anybody else? Because if they have a need at running back or defensive back, they go get a guy like Ricks, 5-star, plug and play. That hole is now filled, and they just move on.
Yeah,
The
I
rich
mean,
get
it
richer.
is. Yeah, it is. I mean, a lot of teams are doing well in the portal right now. I know one who's not very active. I don't know if they're being selective or what's going on, but a lot of good players have hit the portal and already gone places. I don't know if Tennessee's just being selective and waiting, but I don't know. They've definitely. I think they tried with some guys, but I don't know. The one thing I still say with Tennessee and their recruiting, and this goes for portal, they have got to be they've got to out-recruit everybody. And I just don't know that they're doing it. I mean, finished great, did a good job finishing, evaluating. They have got to be relentless, though. I don't know that staff's relentless. Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe I'll catch some. I think they're good, but I just think there's another level they need to hit.
Let's go ahead and get Dustin Sellers in here. It's Fan Appreciation Night. If you are a member of the channel, the link is out there. Go to our YouTube page, hit the community tab. The link is there. Dustin's the only one to come in. It's the Dustin Show. What's up, Dustin? Come on, welcome.
How are y'all tonight?
Good.
Good, man. Good.
Hey, man, good.
Happy
What's
holidays.
What's your favorite Christmas movie or Christmas special of all time?
Oh, man. I'm still a child at heart, so I literally have so many Christmas movies. I could spend your whole show talking about Christmas movies, but I'm a huge fan of just the Christmas Carol Dickens story. So like any versions of that, whether they're from the 30s or, 2000s Jim Carrey one, I love just that story off the top of my head.
Wow. Going old school.
Mm.
Well,
Absolutely. A lot of moral lessons in that.
How's
Looks
the
Go
hotel
ahead.
business going right now, Dustin?
Well, Titans have a tonight game. So, and the hotel I work at is like right by the stadium. So we're going to be slammed Thursday. So I'm working Thursday and then Christmas Eve and then heading back to East Tennessee Christmas Eve evening. But overall, I mean, everybody wants to come to Nashville, man. So it stayed pretty solid all summer. Was swamped. Slowed down a little bit after Thanksgiving, but with like weddings and corporate groups and stuff like that, we're staying busy for sure. Y'all need a room? Y'all coming to the game?
we got a job to do right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network.
That's fair. Well, we need the
chest-
content, so we appreciate it.
The chat's laughing. Epic sweater knot. I think Indy Kid won. I said throw on a Santa hat, and he goes full blown elf. Dobbs, I don't know what Dobbs wearing. Flamingos and
It lights up.
oh man, fancy.
I
I got
my
a Christmas vacation.
I got my tree up too. See my tree?
Look, Tim Bradley classing the joint up. Let's class it up a little. What's up, Tim?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Relegated to the garage. The mother-in-law came in for Christmas.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you look like you're in the broom closet there.
Yeah, I'm down here in the laundry room, but it's quiet. So
Let me hit this super chat really quick. $20 from Lambin Reviews. That's a big. That is not a cheap super chat. You know what I would say to Lambin? I would say
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Lambin says we need a midget version of It's a Christmas Carol with everyone wearing Talkin VAWLS thongs. Merry Christmas. Lambin loves to throw money at us to try to embarrass us, I think. Thank you for the super chat, Lambin. We appreciate it. Guys, it's Fan Appreciation Night. Tim, bring up a topic. What do you want to talk about tonight? We're letting you guys drive the show.
oh my gosh, wow, put me on the spot there, Boogie.
I know. I told you I don't have any notes. It's Fan Appreciation Day. That means you guys got to do. It's like a free super chat, but it's not free because you guys are members of the channel.
Well, I would have to agree with Andy Kidd. Die Hard is the ultimate Christmas movie.
There you go.
And hey, that whole Navy Schuler thing, I'm glad the kid came. I mean, he, like you said, and it's been said before, he seems like a guy that's doing it for the tea and the legacy and all that stuff. And, I don't expect him to be a world beater, but at the same time, I don't think it's really sunk into people how crucial it is to have a backup quarterback, a solid backup quarterback in this system, because we've not had a bad injury to a quarterback yet. But the minute it happens and you don't have that backup in place, your whole offense falls apart.
So do you truly believe that Navy Schuler can be a number 2? Because I struggle with that. If I would have maybe had a different mindset if he came in with a scholarship. Then I would be thinking, all right, maybe they're bringing him in to compete with Joe Milton. But I just don't see you bringing a guy in as a preferred walk-on thinking that he's going to compete with Joe Milton or even Taven Jackson to that point, which obviously we all hope that Taven Jackson's able to redshirt.
I think at this point they're sort of playing the numbers game. I'd read somewhere that he's kind of a preferred walk-on or a gray shirt, which you're gonna use towards the numbers in the next year. I mean, he's got 4 years, so I think it's one of those deals where you let it play out. You see where the numbers are at the end of kind of the portal and everything. See where you're at. The kid works out, plays well, practices well. You got to have competent backups and guys on the scout team as well. We're not just talking about somebody on the team to, play backup. Second team, third team, those guys are the ones that the firsts go against in practice. So,
but that's my question: is Navy Schuler that guy, the scout team guy, or do we truly believe that he is going to beat out Joe Milton? That's the question I'm posing. No, I don't think he's going to beat out Joe Milton.
I think he's a down the line guy. I mean, it's
plenty of time.
I think, yeah. I mean, he does it. Hopefully, Milton comes back. If not, they're going to have to go back to the portal again if Milton doesn't come back.
I think
again,
too,
how do you fix that? How do you get a guy to come in knowing you're not going to beat out Hendon Hooker?
You won't, and unless it's a guy, a backup or something along those lines. But I mean, it's a valid question.
It's a tough situation. I think the quarterback position in the transfer portal is the hardest thing for coaches to deal with right now.
Definitely.
Maybe you can go back and get Harrison Bailey.
I think I'm at the point to where this coaching staff showed me enough this year that I'm going to trust what they think. And I don't think if they did not have a use for Navy, he would not be in this program right now.
Right.
I mean, I'm starting to get that kind of confidence in this coaching staff. They brought him in for a reason. Now, whatever reason that is remains to be seen. But we'll see what coach has got,
Let me say this real
Does
quick,
that
guys.
count against?
Hold on, Dustin. Then we'll get your point. If you're a member of the channel, go to our YouTube channel, hit the community tab. The link is there. If you want to join the show, you can come on. I'm going to give the members another 5 minutes or so. If nobody comes in, I'm going to throw that link into the chat, and it's a free-for-all, and we'll see what happens. So you guys got about 5 minutes. Dustin, go ahead there. Sorry.
I was going to ask, since he's a walk-on but also a transfer, does that count against our allotted transfer numbers, or is that a different rule?
I don't think it does it? If it's a walk-on.
That's a good question. I don't know that it will as a walk-on, but that is.
I don't know much about. Yeah, I don't know. Has he played much at App State at all?
No, and I wonder if that played into it too, because their starting quarterback is coming back again next year. I don't know if that played into it or.
Bryce is coming back.
I think that's what I saw in the article
been in
that
college
I read.
He's been in college 10 to 15 years now.
Yeah.
He's got experience, isn't he, kid?
Yeah, he does. Pretty good core. He's turned out because he was at Clemson and then Duke and then App State, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm going back.
It'd be a hell of a story if
it says Appy State, Chase Bryce will be back for the 2022 season in a decision that turns out really wasn't a decision at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Navy never took a snap. I didn't think he did, but and it's all about develop. If he's coming in as a preferred walk-on, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
If it works out, great. If it doesn't, it is what it is.
Absolutely nothing.
All right, guys.
Anybody
I'm
aware of
the
any
link
other
out there? Sorry, go ahead, Dustin.
Sorry, I'm always interrupting you. Is there any word on any other opt-outs for the bowl game? Do you guys know? And also, what's the latest with Devontae Payton? Is he going to play?
I haven't heard one way or the other on Peyton. I assumed he was playing. The only guy I know sitting out is Alontae Taylor, and that's because he was banged up. So I get that. That's to me, that's not an opt out. That's sitting out because you're banged up. Cade Mays, not sure if he plays or not because he's banged up too. But I've not heard anybody else is opting out.
I think Hypel said that he expects everybody else to play.
That's a pretty interesting comment. Captain Woodland had a Talkin Vols fan install my internet at my new house today. How did that conversation go down? That's pretty good. That's pretty funny. Eric Ash Jones, I see you coming in the back, but your camera's not coming through, so keep trying. We'll try to get you on. The link is out there if you guys want to jump in. There's the link. Fan Appreciation Night. Don't be shy. Come on. You can see this is a very professionally ran show tonight. We're just hanging out, enjoying the conversation. So get in where you fit in. But I feel like we're not even talking about the bowl game. I feel like nobody's even excited at this point. It just seems like nobody cares.
Oh, there you go. You got an answer.
Oh, there you go. I think Tennessee's favored by like 4.5 now at this point.
I've not seen it actually.
Yeah, I think I saw today it was up to 4.5. What's up, Wayne Starnes in the room? What's going on, Wayne? Welcome to the show.
What up,
Wayne... Oh, there he is.
Hey, how you guys doing? Now you finally get to put a ugly face with that smart ass that's on your all's channel. It's me.
You fit right in with us, Wayne. Right in with us.
I can't get my... Hey, how you guys doing? Now you finally get to put an ugly face with
I feel like we're on radio call-in. Caller, turn your radio down.
Trying to get my TV to turn down.
That's right. Take your time. Moose is in the house. Moose trying to come in and steal a spot as the fourth host of Talkin Vols. What's up, Moose?
What's up, guys? What's up?
There we go.
Good to see you back in the house, man. Long time no see.
I can't hear you guys.
This is like doing Zoom classes all over again.
Yeah. I hope people enjoy it when we do these shows. I know sometimes it's a hassle. And it is what it is. Yeah. But it's fun, man. I want you guys to be able to come on and hang out.
It is fun. It is fun.
There I am.
It's a lot better than a meeting.
Yeah, this is way more fun than a meeting. What about you, Moose? Are you excited for the Music City Bowl, or are you kind of just waiting around?
I don't know. I think I'm more excited with next season already. The recruiting, the transfer portal. Purdue is not a game that I can just get excited. Even though Purdue's a good team this year, at least. I mean, I don't know. It's not a sexy name, I guess.
It doesn't help that they're without their best offensive player, best defensive player. It's kind of like,
yeah.
I'm like you. I'm guilty. I'm looking forward to next year, man.
The thing that I find interesting, though, is that what's his name at Purdue? Brom. His name is always in these coaching searches, and I guess he's okay. He's 8-4 at Purdue. That's respectable, but I would like to just beat the stew out of them one year. I don't know. I kind of get tired of seeing his name surfacing.
He was in our coaching search.
He's kind of like Gundy.
He was.
I think
he was like named. Didn't Hines say that Brom's the new coach?
Yeah.
And then it was. I mean, he would have been better than Pruitt, but
that was master of a coaching search.
I think he's like Gundy at OK State, though. And his agent floats his name out there for every opening so he can get an extension and a raise.
It's brilliant. That's what Lane did this year.
Yeah.
How much longer, though, till Lane can't play that card anymore? Because
well,
it doesn't seem like the big name jobs really were interested in him.
No, because he's slimy. He's not loyal to any program, you know. He's a great.
His next opportunity is probably Florida State. If he doesn't get that, he's where he's at.
Yeah, he'd be great if he just stayed where he was. I mean, I still am nursing the wounds from 2009. I think he would have done fine at Tennessee.
Yeah, when he up and left, that hurt us a lot. And I don't think a lot of people have forgiven him outside of the UT fan base.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do see that a lot. Other fan bases basically saying that he was slimy. What if he had done it to Ole Miss, though, too? and just up and left. Oh, it would have been hilarious.
In the middle of the night.
Yep.
He would have went to Miami.
Yeah.
I wonder where he would have gone if offered. I honestly think he would have come back to Tennessee if he was offered. I really do. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
he's his favorite house. So
yeah,
he ever lived in.
His kid's name is Knox. I mean, he said USC was the only job that he would leave for, and of course, it opens up.
Exactly.
Do you believe that though?
I know, just horrible timing. But you know,
like a perfect time to plug the Fall of the Vols series.
Yeah, I've actually been watching that.
Oh,
I had a guy message me today on Instagram. He's like, "Hey, can y'all cover the 05 through 08 seasons?" Like, Fall of the Vols. It's on there. So.
Yeah, I think we need to go back and plug it this offseason because it's something that people, and we talked about this when we made it. When Indie Kid came up with the idea, I was like, that's something that will continue to get views. People can watch that every year because it's history. We got to come up with something to do this year, though. A lot of people asking, you guys got to do something similar, and I don't know what that would be. What do you guys think? Fan appreciation night. Throw something at the wall. What would you want to see? Of some type of video series, like, you think like your favorite Vols of all time, greatest Vols of all time, but that can only go so far. I don't really know. Just spitballing.
You could do one on all the quarterbacks that they've had, like you were talking about Andy Kelly, Peyton Manning, Heath Schuler,
T. Martin,
Eric Ainge, T. Martin. There's been a lot. Josh Dobbs.
Well, let's do that right now, Wayne. Rattle off
your
Andy Kid with his favorite quarterback. Wayne, rattle off your favorite quarterbacks and why. Let's go down memory lane.
Well, I always liked Peyton Manning. That's the obvious. But after him, it was Heath Schuler. I always liked Heath Schuler. He was like your first real dual threat quarterback besides Condredge Holloway that UT had. And after him, I would probably go with Condredge Holloway because that's when I was really little and I started watching football and became a UT fan. And because my dad, he was a big Tennessee fan as well. And but after that, I mean, I like them all, to be honest, just because I'm a Tennessee fan. But after that, I guess I would probably go with I guess T. Martin was probably one of my favorites because he actually stuck it out for 5 years before he actually saw the field to play. Well, no, he didn't. 4 years. He redshirted, and then he was a junior when they won it. But he still waited his turn, and you don't see that in college football anymore.
No, you don't see loyalty like that.
Especially now. Now. Saw it a little bit more then, but now it's gone. I wish Holloway's a guy that he was before our time. We never got to see him play. What about you? What about
How
you,
about
Dustin?
Tony Robinson?
That
Sugar
was an
Vols.
80. Yep. Yeah, that was 85, right? When they played Miami.
Yep.
Dobbert, you
Before
were 4
my
years
time.
old. Don't act like you
That was
remember that.
Dickey in that game, was it not? Daryl Dickey, wasn't he quarterback against Miami?
What was it?
See, Indy Kid was 27 at the time, so he remembers. You were
Hey, now he's only a year older than I am.
okay, don't date yourself, Wayne. Don't date yourself.
Let's see.
God,
Who was
Wayne,
the
I have to
quarterback?
say you have gotten uglier since I've saw you. I'll give you credit. So.
I went deer hunting, climbed up an ugly tree. I fell down, hit every branch, and I'd be damned if that thing wasn't rotten. It fell over and hit me again. So.
Let's. I want to keep talking about this quarterback thing. It's always fun. You almost date a fan. Dustin, who are your top 5 quarterbacks or your favorite quarterbacks of all time?
I mean, that list he just said is pretty much mine. I mean, you got to go with Peyton at first, just the player and the guy. I mean, I would say, obviously it's been a while, but other than Dobbs has probably been the most exciting to watch in my lifetime. And then, my first memories are Andy Kelly, Schuler, and T. Martin. So that would be ones I could speak to the most, but it would have been great to see Condredge, and seeing all the highlights and video of him is pretty sweet. But in recent memory, Dobbs and Hooker have been pretty exciting to watch, I have to say. different kind of offense, obviously, but still really cool to see.
Swamp Donkey Sniper is
think if we pull
upset.
Nico.
He's upset with my audio. Is it better now, or is it still low?
Sounds fine to me.
Got you loud and clear.
All right. It's this stupid microphone. I never know where to set it. It's annoying. I try to balance it, but it's a pain in the butt. Let me go up here and hit this super chat real quick. Where did it go? I lost it. Lambert Reviews for 5. Smacking my junk on an anvil with a 50-pound ball peen hammer would be far better than Pruitt as our head coach. I couldn't agree more, Lamon. Thank you for the $5.
Is he still an analyst for Giants?
I think so. Surely to goodness he's not going to be able to come back to the SEC for a while, I would imagine.
Brian Allison bringing up Casey Clausen, underrated
I forgot.
quarterback.
Yes.
Love
yes,
Casey Clausen.
Road
Ames was
warrior.
underrated too.
Yep.
Clausen was a road warrior though, like 14-1 on the road.
Oh, crazy legs. That's what they nicknamed him.
Did something Manning never did. Went down
Beat Florida.
to Gainesville, won on the road down there.
Beat
It's
them
funny how
twice down there on
I
the
believe
road.
so, yeah.
It's funny how people at the time didn't like him. But if you go back and look at Dobbs, that was one of the biggest fights on this channel. JP wanted to bench Josh Dobbs. And now looking back, he realizes what an idiot he was at the time because Dobbs was such a special kid. It's true, man. Yeah. People hated Casey Clausen. It wasn't so much Josh Dobbs other than JP, but, I mean, who else? I mean, it's like so many people. The quarterback's either the most hate. They either get the most disrespect or the most respect, whether they earn it or not.
Yeah.
I think that's part of that. Go ahead, Moose.
I was going to say, I think that's just another similarity with Hooker, the whole Dobbs situation where he was not the clear starter. Mm-hmm. You know, he kind of had to prove himself a little bit too. And then just came in and took over. I think Hooker, similar situation. Nobody really pinned him before the season started to be the guy.
I think along the time Clausen was there was when the offense started. That's Cutcliffe had left. I think that's, going back to the plugging the Fall of the Vols series, it really started 02, a little bit underachieving, 03 bounce back, 04 decent, but it was around that time, and Clausen was the quarterback. So I think that's part of where he probably got more flack than he should have was over that 02 season, more and into 03, and they lost to Clemson in the Peach Bowl. That was kind of when it all started, and I think he got associated with that fairly or not.
Well, there's some similarities with Dobbs and Hooker in that, like you said, Moose, they weren't starters at the beginning of the year. They both came in and replaced an injured quarterback, and then kind of never gave back the reins. Just started playing well.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dobbs was always what you heard was he didn't perform in practice.
But how much of that? Let me add Joel Certain in here real quick. Joel's in the house. What's up, Joel? Welcome to the show.
What's going on, fellas? How you doing?
Let me go back and touch on what Dobber was talking about there, talking about Dobbs and Hendon Hooker. How much do you think both of those guys, the story that they struggled in practice was because they make plays with their feet, and in practice it's no contact, it's two-hand touch. You don't really get an opportunity to go out there and shine, and we kind of heard that about Hendon Hooker this year. It makes me wonder, going back to Josh Dobbs, it was kind of a case of the same thing. Yeah,
I mean, with the eye test, you look at a guy like Milton, the guy can throw a mile, and he's big, so just looking at it, Hooker kind of flies under the radar maybe at first glance, but when you put them out there in game time situations, like, Hooker is obviously way better.
Milton's not a gamer, though. I mean, Dobbs, he was a gamer. Hooker, he's a gamer. Milton just doesn't have that in him. It doesn't seem like he just doesn't have that drive to step up when he's asked to.
I think the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Exactly.
At times with Milton.
Right.
I mean, there's it's a very questionable.
It's been really strange. It's been real strange to watch that and.
Sorry, go ahead. I was about to change the topic completely.
I was just saying it's been really strange to see that because I think most everybody was rooting for the guy because he's built like a beast, and you want to see the guy do well. But even when he's came in to, if Milton, or excuse me, if Hooker's out for a series or two, or if we're up big and they put Milton in, it just doesn't seem like it's clicking the same way. I don't know if he just gets cold feet or the gears are working too fast or what, but it's been a really odd thing to watch. I guess he had the same kind of issues at Michigan, maybe. I don't know.
It's weird though because it is like you said, it's very strange. Because when I watch him play, I get excited, and he sucks. You got guys wide open, and he can't. And I'm like, this dude is so great, but he sucks. Like, it's so frustrating. I've never seen anything like it. Like you said, Dustin, the tools are there, the size, the strength, the way he throws the foot, everything's there, but something, it just doesn't click. I don't know what it is.
It's almost like he's made. It's almost like he's made to just like play with Tyreek Hill or something. Like everybody else is too slow for him in college football.
Somebody go get it.
Yeah.
I just think he can throw it a mile. He just can't hit the broadside of a barn when he throws it. He's like that quarterback in what was it, Unnecessary Roughness, that movie, where the guy was standing 10 yards away and he throws it like 35 yards over his head.
It's Uncle Rico.
Throw the ball a quarter mile.
Yeah. All right, Joel just came into the house. Joel said he was going to completely change the subject. Let's let Joel go ahead and do that. What do you got, Joel? Where do you want to go? What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, this isn't more Tennessee football related. This is more college football related. One thing I really liked about the 2020 season last year, the FCS played during the spring and FBS Division I played during the fall. That would be, I just kind of want to see everybody's opinion. What if they made that a constant thing? That way we don't have a lack of college football for 8 months out of the year. We'd only have like a 2-month gap during the summer.
I thought it was a golden opportunity that was missed because I said the same thing. I was like, man, they can really promote this on like ESPN, the Fox Sports, and it was still ESPN Plus for those games. And because I thought this is really where the FCS can get over. People will watch, and it just wasn't advertised. I loved it. I love the idea of it.
Not only that,
I
you
would
could
love
have
to see him go to it, but
you could still have your lower division schools have their spotlight on the national stage for once, and instead of being overshadowed by Division I schools. Obviously, the big moneymaker is Division I, but there's a whole litany of other college football players that most of us are not even noticing throughout the college football year because we're busy watching Division I.
I don't think they'll do that because of some of the FCS teams that come in and play Division I during the year. That's a big money maker for them, and I don't think they're willing to give that up.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I wonder how many.
Even though they know it's going to be a loss.
But would it make up for the money of being on national TV? You could possibly work out network deals just like they have in Division I with those FCS schools, and you could probably make that money up just from being on the national stage for an entire spring college football season.
Yeah, but are 90,000 people going to go buy a ticket and watch that game as well like they do in Division I at Alabama, Tennessee, Florida? I doubt it.
Well, and the other thing, too, is that it's all upside for those schools to go get murdered. They get paid, and they have like a, 0.5% chance of winning the game. And so Appalachian State, they beat Michigan. They talk about it forever. They got paid to beat Michigan. I mean, that like makes your program, So
I wonder part of it too, though, is a negative side of that is guys in Division II. I don't know FCS, FBS. I still call it Division I, Division II. They want to transfer, right? You got a guy playing at ETSU that wants to transfer up, and he's coming off of a spring season. Now he's got to come in over the summer, get ready for the fall. I don't know that it really mattered in 2020. We saw guys do that, and it didn't really impact, but I wonder if that's part of it too. I hate it because I want to go watch more ETSU games, and I can't because half the time, and I remember when they first brought the ETSU program back, they're like, we're gonna schedule our games around UT so that we can fill this state. They don't pay attention. They don't care. They just make the schedule out, and if you show up, you show up, and if you don't, you don't.
Randy Sanders retired.
Did you see the rumor who they're looking at?
Yeah.
I don't buy that. You guys think that's real?
No.
Jeff
Who
Fisher
is
said
it?
he'd go.
Jeff Fisher.
He said he interviewed for the job.
Yeah, he's at Tennessee State right now under Eddie George.
Yep.
If he comes to ETSU, he's got to let a young up-and-comer call offensive plays. He's so out of touch. You got to
They
let
have
somebody
pretty good-
young come in.
They have pretty good coordinators now, do they not?
You would have to think that offense
ETSU.
lived and died through Randy Sanders. You would think.
Yeah, I think their coordinators are pretty highly respected too, though. I would think one of those guys would get
Their quarterback's a freshman as well this year. He was pretty good.
Well, then, honestly, Jeff Fish, I had an idea. That's the pain meds talking. Kind of reminds me, Jeremy Britt must have been watching a lot of Jeff Fisher games back in the day, just from the play calling, run, pass, run, pass.
Very similar. Very similar.
Over and
That's
over
why
again.
Fisher would have to get an offensive coordinator. Let me hit this super chat. Lambin reviews for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, hey, can the folks watching please say a prayer for my friend David Flannery over in Ireland? He needs them. Go Big Orange. We will do that. Prayers for your buddy. I don't know what the situation is, but I hope things get turned around for him. Thank you for the super chat, Lambin. You didn't have to pay us to say that, but we appreciate it. We got 163 people watching live right now. 106 of you have hit that thumbs up. The rest of you, I don't know what you're waiting on, but we would appreciate it. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Helps the channel, plays the analytics, all that good stuff. Also, I got to go ahead and share it. It's too late to buy a Christmas present, but maybe you want to buy one for yourself. Maybe you want to buy a Christmas present for yourself that will show up late. I want to get some feedback on this, guys. Got a couple listeners on hanging out with us tonight. What do you got? Are you guys gamers? Are you guys old school gamers at all? Do you not love the TBA Jam? The NBA Jam style Talkin VAWLS. I love this logo. I love it.
Those are
we could
sick.
probably get sued, but I love it anyway. We'll see what happens. If so, we'll take it down. But go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Pick up all the merchandise. As the dog just told you, go pick it up. Go buy it. Any and all support greatly appreciated. Doubling down says yes. Go buy it.
Sorry.
But again, the link to that is in the description below. But it's bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. Let me see. If you guys want to join the show, I'm dropping the link in the chat.
I got a suggestion for something. You were talking earlier about what to do in the off season.
Uh-huh.
So I think to go along with what you were saying about the favorite quarterbacks, I think it'd be fun if y'all three did like an all-time Tennessee draft. Like you got to fill, each position, and y'all just take turns. You can draft anybody from any period in Tennessee history and have the fans vote who has the best team.
That's an interesting idea.
That is interesting.
I kind of like that. And maybe we would do it on a live stream. Do like a live stream every once a week, every other week. And do
or maybe you don't have to do all positions. You could do it like fantasy where you have, all the offensive skill and then maybe like pick a year of the defense, something you could, tweak it however you
that
want.
actually sounds cool. I actually really like that.
Whatever
idea.
year Al Wilson was in there.
Yeah.
I feel
Speaking
sorry
of
for
games,
whoever gets to play against Al Wilson because that man was a monster.
Yeah.
Speaking of games, Boogie, this isn't really necessarily old school, but the last time they made NCAA football was 2013. And if anybody else is like me, I know life the crap out of that game.
Yeah, if they bring it
last
back,
I heard, they are
it's-
bringing it back. It's coming out July of 23, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm going to do when it comes. I wish it was coming out sooner because what I want to do is a live stream once a week, do a Dynasty, probably on like Friday nights, and just do a Dynasty, stream the video, hang out with you guys in the chat, play a game. So that's so far in the future, but I'm excited.
Either
about
that or a members only online Dynasty. Just nobody picked Tennessee because that would be unfair to everybody.
That's a good idea, too. That's a good idea. I mean, I used to dominate Indie Kid back in the day. Just drilled him.
Yeah.
He'd get so upset. Man. Whew.
I still remember the year we were doing
Here comes
it.
a lie.
When one guy run it up on me once, and I was like, this won't happen again. And so when we went at it, it was either the next season or the season after, I put 95 on him. I think it was. And I said, you're not going to run it up on anybody again. It was like 30-some to 14 or something. He beat me the first time, and he was still throwing late. And I said, all right. So I was still onside kicking late and still throwing. So he was Alabama and I was Tennessee in the dynasty too, because I took over for Derek Dooley. As a matter of fact, shocking, Derek Dooley got fired. And I think I
Even in the
dominated
video
Boogie
game.
a couple times along the way too. So
We had the most epic dynasty. I mean, you talk about knockdown, drag out fights, man. Whew. But I
See how
love
much
it.
that game's going for nowadays?
Like $120.
Is it
on
really?
eBay.
I think 2014 or 15 was the last one. 2014 was the one that if you ran the read option, they couldn't stop
It was unstoppable.
Yeah, if you made the right read option, it was. I think 2013 was the best one. But me and Snake, that used to be on the show with us, we both we got it on eBay for like $5 and started playing 13. We started a dynasty with Army and Navy, but my Xbox 360 died, so I can't play it anymore.
And I think
Speaking of, there he is in the chat right now talking about he ran the air raid with Navy and memories, man. I love that game.
Tell you what, if you've got a good enough PC, they've actually got there's a whole entire team. A lot of the team that worked on this mod has actually gone on to work on the new college football game. I think it's ESPN College Football 23 is what they're calling it when it comes out. But a lot of those guys that developed this mod have gone on to work on that. They've got a PC mod on here where you can take NCAA 14. You can either take it over to your Xbox, your PlayStation, or you can play it on PC if you have a disc. And it updates the graphics. You can add your own plays. They update the uniforms. They do patches at least bi-weekly. It's another thing I've no life.
I wonder if
Dude,
the new games will have
speaking my
actual
language
pictures on them. So with the NIL, I wonder if they'll have actual players, if it'll just be numbers again.
Oh, they have to. I mean, that's what started this whole thing, right? That's what got it shut down and started the whole NIL deal.
Yeah.
With the NIL, from what I've heard, because I've tried to keep tabs on this pretty close, because that was honestly one of my favorite game series of all time. From what I've heard, they will have specific NIL deals for every single player, and it'll just be like a flat rate.
Yep.
And they'll receive a certain amount of money to have their name in the game and their likeness in the game, and they'll most likely receive a free copy of the game as well. So
it's not much. It's only like $700, but that's a lot going out to all the
nothing.
people.
Hey,
Like,
for a college kid, you could live for 3 years on ramen noodles on $700.
Right.
Can you throw mustard in these new games, or is that feature turned off?
Just golf ball.
Some Alabama fan came in the comment section this week, cussing me out, calling me every name in the book, and then told me not to throw mustard at him. So I just banned him. I didn't throw mustard, but I banned him.
I went out with a Memphis guy.
Cal One says but that's pretend football. Can we talk about real football? And then here comes James Gentry with $2 super chat. Can we talk about Red Dead 3 in 2030, baby? I never played that game. It looks great though. That game looks good. Red Dead 1 and 2.
It's literally one of the. I ain't afraid to admit I am a man that cries at good movies like The Notebook. Those are two games that ever made me cry.
Wait a minute.
Red Dead 1 and Red Dead 2. I cried at the end of both of those.
You cried at the end of what?
The Notebook. I got
Oh my God, we should leave it at that.
Okay. Hey, nothing. I cry at Field of Dreams every time, man. It's okay. Nothing wrong with that. No, don't cry, Rudy.
Was a good one.
Field of Dreams, that's a tearjerker. Hey, Dad.
Rudy's just water boy for Notre Dame fans. I mean.
Layman Reviews for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Says, if this episode was Christmas Vacation, who would be Cousin Eddie? Who would rub Snot's belly? Oh, and hi. Michael
I'll be
James.
Cousin Eddie.
Go
Shitter's full.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and peg Wayne as being Cousin Eddie.
I love that movie.
Killing it with his cutaways, man.
Hey, it's not easy being a professional, as you can tell by the last 54 minutes
It's on
we've
cue.
ran this show. Oh, man. Oh, goodness. Let's see. Boogie would be Clark. Dauber would be Clark's boss. Any Kid would be Uncle Eddie and kidnaps Dauber. Let's talk about, what do you guys want to talk about? Moose, let's let you take the reins. What do you want to talk about? Recruiting, transfer portal, Music City Bowl, past, future.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about the past because just the age I am and growing up, I grew up in I think the first teams that I really remember watching consistently would have been Eric Ainge teams. And so for me to hear about 98 and then what happened, everything after that, I think it was good for me to piece together those pieces, the Dickey retirement, the Chris Sims decommitment, just things that I just didn't know about. You can look back and see records, but there's always a lot more to the story. So I've been watching those recently, like in the last couple of days. So that's been really informative for me to just hear some of that.
That Chris Sims decommitment was big. I felt that was looking back on it all. I felt that was really kind of overlooked in the grand scheme of things because he was ranked the top quarterback in the nation. He was going to take over, set it basically a year behind T. Martin, and then pick up and go from there. He would have had a year in the system. He was a good, solid quarterback at Texas. He played in the league, but I don't know. I just felt something changed then, and then the whole debacle with Chris Leak that should have happened. That was there was a couple misses right there that I think changed the trajectory. Granted, they had Clausen, they had Ainge during that time, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just perception changed.
I think one thing that has always been hard for me to get is why it's taken so long for us. It seems like every other SEC team, taken the last 15 years, it seems like every SEC team has been really good at some point in those 15 years. Mississippi State had that season with Dak. Ole Miss had good seasons. Alabama, of course. Kentucky's had some 10-win seasons. Missouri had those years where they were weirdly good and won the East. South Carolina with Jadeveon Clowney and all those teams. It just seems like everybody's had their turn except us. We had some, I guess, signs of hope under Butch. We had some, I guess, 8-win seasons and stuff, and we thumped the Big Ten in the bowl games. But it doesn't seem like – it seems like our rebuild has been so much more difficult than every other SEC program.
That's because the coaching searches were done at the dollar store.
Exactly, Dauber.
They went and got incompetent coaches, and then, you had Butch Jones who had some success, but he was in over his head.
He had a 3-year span where he should have won the East. Butch did, and he missed it.
Right.
I want to welcome Sammy P to the show real quick. We're talking about the worst years as a Tennessee fan. Dauber hit the nail on the head. It's all about the coaching hires. But look at Josh Hypel. How many people thought Josh Hypel was the same deal, right? But we finally got a guy that knows X's and O's and can do more with less, and you create that momentum. Typically, it's the other way around. Like Josh Hypel's kind of backwards because all the NCAA cloud hanging over his head. Normally a guy comes in and you create momentum right out of the gate, right? You're hyping up that you're going to be the guy and there's changing and you get that first recruiting class. Josh Hypel had to work his ass off to get what he got in the class of 22 because of the investigation. Yeah. But we finally have a guy that can coach and is winning games that he should win and is doing more with less. And, people talk about Missouri and South Carolina and use that almost as a way to attack Tennessee fans. Look at this year. They didn't just win those games; they dominated those games.
Yeah,
Dauber's right. It was all about the coaches that they hired.
When was the last time we had a coach outperform expectations too? It just always seems like there's excuses, Butch would have done better if he didn't have so many injuries, and if so and so didn't leave. It's always an underperformance.
Yeah, Johnny Majors.
Yeah, it's when Fulmer took over for Majors. When he got sick and went into the hospital.
Right.
Yeah, and Fulmer really didn't overperform. He had talent.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And here's another thing that I think is different about Hypel that may bode well for the future. You look at all these past coaches between Fulmer and Hypel, and the culture was always there's always something off with the culture. You had Lane and all his antics. You had Derek Dooley and the World War II references and Pythagorean theorem and all that stuff. And then you have
showers.
And then
how to take a bath.
Right. Then you have Butch Jones, champions of life, and then you have all the issues in the locker room with cornbread. It's like now it finally seems like we got a normal coach for once, you know. I think that might make a difference. I don't know.
There's definitely been some coups
Yeah,
down there.
I think this.
I think a lot of it goes with
is
the
one thing.
It goes with the leadership that's in the locker room from the players. Like this year, they held themselves accountable when the new staff come in. They all bought into it. Matthew Butler, he might not have been that 5-star guy coming out of high school, but he was developed and he played, and he's a man that was in that locker room, and he wouldn't let the kids that come in do any bull crap to mess that up. They either bought in or get out. It's pretty much how it was, it seemed like.
You got to think, too, a lot of these kids that are going into college now haven't seen Tennessee be at the pinnacle. Like, granted, take me, for example. I'm only 28. I was born in 93. I barely remember the national championship team. A lot of these kids haven't seen Tennessee at the pinnacle. All they've seen is incompetent coach after incompetent coach after incompetent coach. If once they see that we have a coach that's actually not going to take any BS and actually going to coach these kids up and develop them, and once this NCAA crap gets behind us, the program's going to sell itself, in my honest opinion. I mean, how many kids are going to have a chance to play in front of 100,000 fans every weekend?
I think one thing I've liked, and we've talked about it numerous times with Hypel, he comes in to kick your ass. He doesn't come in to just ride a game out. He doesn't come in to just skate by and play not to win. He plays to win, and he plays to drill you each week. Most of these guys that's come in coached not to lose so many times, and it showed.
He did that the second. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I said he did that in the second half against South Carolina after they jumped out for that big lead, and he admitted to doing that and said that he won't do that anymore. You know what I mean? He actually took his foot off the throttle in that South Carolina game this year.
Yeah.
So did you guys see the grading out of the new coaches that were hired last year?
I haven't.
Hypel came out on top as a A-, I believe. So,
yeah, they had initially considered him a D.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, you know, you had Sark at Texas, who everybody thought was going to be, you know, the second coming, and he graded out as an F.
Yeah.
Clark Lee at Vandy was a D+. Beamer.
How in the world did they get Agu? How? That kid said he wanted to play in front of fans for a winner, and he commits to Vanderbilt.
So, you know,
I don't think there was room for him. To be honest with Josephs and Pierce, when Pierce finally, I think, decided he was committing and wasn't going to wait until the later signing date in February, I think that's probably when they told Agudu or whatever his name is from Vanderbilt to go on.
Well, I thought it was interesting that I think it was Austin Price. Austin Price said something along the lines of, he had a teammate that was committed to Vanderbilt, and Vanderbilt basically threatened him and said, "If you don't commit, your teammate's cut." What a trash move, man! What a
I couldn't believe that either. That's crazy.
Let me hit these couple of super chats real quick. Wade Rouse for 5. Thank you for the super chat. Hey guys, I wish I could have joined you tonight, but I'm at work. You can join. Find a broom closet. It's fine. Merry Christmas, guys. And go
downstairs
Vols.
in the basement.
Yeah, just whatever, man. That's what I do. I'm in the basement, too. It's fine. But thank you for the super chat, Wade, and Merry Christmas to you and your family. The Sammy P, who tried to come on, and his internet wasn't cooperating. But good Lord, $50. $50!
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
$50 super chat. Thank you to Sammy P. Wi-Fi ain't cooperating, but for when I started paying attention to the Vols regularly, cousin told me several stories about the 90s and saying the past coaches just don't have it, but with Hypel, it seems to him the 90s are back. I hope you're right. I'm trying not to get too bought in. I love Josh Hypel. Let's kind of talk about this. Let's talk about, are you guys, are you cautious? Are you cautious, or are you just 100% bought in, Wayne?
I'm 100% bought in now. I was cautious when he first came in. But as long as the kids, I look at what the recruits and what the players inside the locker room are saying about their coach, and they all seem to love Hypel, and they're listening to him. They know he's going to develop them. He knows it's tough love. He holds them accountable, and that's what they need, and that's what they've been needing. And I think even Matthew Butler said that. They weren't being held accountable, and they are now. And I'm bought in with Hypel.
Dustin, what do you think? Are you bought in? But two, do you think some of it is because Hypel's been there as a player? You're talking about a guy won a national championship, Heisman runner-up. He's been there, done that. And I think that speaks volumes when you sit down in the living room with these kids and recruit, or when you have them in the locker room, you connect more. But are you bought in, Dustin?
Yeah, I mean, I think we would buy into anything that's being a little bit successful these days, and so I think stability is key. I was going to say a minute ago when we're talking about the coaching changes and all that kind of stuff, I think in a lot of cases we might have waited a little bit too long with Dooley and Bush, whereas other schools, if you're not winning on that second year, if the bottom falls out, you're out. And I think we might have waited a little bit too long in some of those cases. But I hear a lot of people now addressing Hypel like, oh, well, the offense is only going to work for a year or so. But I think he's young enough and smart enough to adapt to whatever is going to be productive, especially at the quarterback position. And so time will tell, but I don't think we'll be able to run the same offense forever. But I think adaptations and all the different formations that he throws in there, I think there's a lot of versatility that he probably hasn't even shown yet.
What year was he at Missouri? Sorry, Dauber. Go ahead, Dauber.
He was there when they put 50 on Tennessee.
Yeah,
right,
that
what,
quarterback.
When they had Drew Lock.
Yep.
I was just looking at – hold on, I'm trying to find it here. I got to find it now. I've already interrupted Dauber's train of thought. I got to figure out when he was there. Oklahoma 2006, 2010.
Would have been at the end of the Butch Jones.
15 or 16, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was
probably the last year of the Butch Jones era.
2016, 2017. So when you talk about his offense and what it can do, I mean, that was 5 years ago. And that's an offense that was successful in the SEC then. And then he went to Central Florida, had success there. Now he's back in the SEC, had success again. And he's, I've heard him talk about it before and say that it adapts. Like, it's not the same as it was. Like, he picks up pieces and changes things. It's always adapting. And I think that is why he can have long-term success.
Yeah.
And he's young too, right?
Oh, yeah, he's young.
Yeah. It's exciting, and what I'm bought in and behind him for is bringing this offense and program into this century. It's it's unlike Tennessee football that we've ever seen. It's
Tennessee. It was time for Tennessee to change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's modernized the offense. It's exciting, fast-paced. Like the old Nike commercial with Glavin and Maddox. Chicks dig the long ball. Chicks dig points, man. You running up 40 points a game. That's exciting to watch. It's a different brand. And talking about brand, Danny White. Danny White deserves a lot of credit in all this. And Indy Kid and I have talked about it on basketball a little bit a couple weeks ago, how it's not just a football thing. It's a University of Tennessee thing. It's the brand of the University of Tennessee. And, we talked about when you'd be hard-pressed to find a time when Tennessee has had the major sports elite level coaches and things on such a positive trajectory.
And how about, and hats off, I know it's a football for the month, hats off to Rick Barnes for calling Memphis out this week as well. He put and said, Memphis is always wanting to play Tennessee. They pissed that one away this week. And hats off to Rick Barnes for telling it like it was. and Memphis can go on down the road.
Let me get caught up on Super Chats real quick. Tennessee sacrifice for 10. Thank you for the Super Chat. Coach H sees Tennessee as a destination job, not a stepping stone. He knows this is a premier job. Well, he talks the talk. I just hope he means it. Hope he means it. The Sammy
he
P
said
with
too, when he was a player, that Tennessee was still, they were 2 years removed from a national championship, so he remembers that as well.
Mm-hmm. Sammy P for 5. Thank you for the Super Chat. Also, I was born in 99, never seen the Vols where they should be. I feel sorry for people like this, man. So many people, so many of these young guys that didn't experience the glory years that we experienced. Yeah. Well, at least, 4 of the 7, I think. 4 of the 7 of us experienced that. Who's burping in the mic?
I think I brought that up in one of the call. I think I brought that up in one of the call-in shows before one of the games, and I brought up the question of what do you think is worse, never have experienced that or experience the glory days when you're always winning, and then all of a sudden the bottom falls out. Which is worse?
Such a tough question. Such a tough question. You don't know what you got if you've never experienced it. You know what I mean? Whereas me,
we're like,
Dobbs,
we promised we were good.
Wayne,
we were promised.
Yeah, the 4 of us have seen it, man. We talked about it over and over and over on this show. When it was late in the year, you didn't stress. You didn't worry about it. You knew it was going to be a win. It's just that's the way it was. Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Kentucky. It's domination, man. It was a relaxing Saturday afternoon, but not anymore.
November was 3 guaranteed wins.
Yeah. Every year.
Yeah.
Every year.
You stressed on game 2 or 3 in September, and you stressed at times on Georgia. I mean, Tennessee dominated Georgia for a long time.
Yep.
No, and then
they dominated Alabama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the talk used to be all the time. It wasn't, I wonder, is Tennessee going to be any count this year? They're going to win 8 ball games. Are they going to win 7 games? It wasn't that. It was, are we going to win the national this year? You think we're going to win the championship this year? That's how it was when I was growing up.
It was, are they going to beat Florida and play for an SEC championship? That was the question.
And if they do, they'll play for a national championship.
Yeah.
10 or 11 wins given.
I think we were lucky to get that one, though. I really think at the time we may not have realized it, how lucky we were to experience that in our lifetime.
Yep.
I still say if Manning's the quarterback, they don't win it that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Niners, they were tough.
Yeah.
T. Martin's legs won them that national championship. I mean, the
Very
defense,
possible.
don't get me wrong, but T.
but
Martin
Manning,
against Syracuse and Florida, 2 big
Manning had
plays.
defenses too. Manning had some good defenses too. He did.
That Syracuse game and then the Florida game, T. Martin made 2 big plays with his legs that won him both those games.
Yep.
Manning couldn't have done that.
And to think if we hadn't recovered that Sterner stumble and fumble in the Arkansas game too.
I was there for that game. That was unbelievable. It was just
wow.
I was standing there. I told a buddy of mine, I was like, I knew it was too good to be true. And about that time, it's like, oh my gosh.
I was only about 5 or 6 years old at that time, and I had a buddy of mine when I lived in Knoxville. I'm back in the mid-state now, but I had a friend of mine that was in college, and he was one of the guys that actually rode the goalpost down when they took him down in the Florida game that year. He rode it from, I think it was the north end zone all the way to the Tennessee River.
My sister, that's the only
Yeah,
game
they carried it all the way out of the stadium.
She went to Tennessee. That was the only game she went to in 4 years. Was that Florida game when they ripped the goalpost down. What a waste of a 4-year education.
My first Florida game was 10-9, the first time we ever checkerboarded the stadium.
Oh, my gosh. I ripped a shirt off that day. I literally ripped a shirt off. I got so mad after that game.
I couldn't say much. I was under a mic. I was in Pride that year. I couldn't do that.
Was it your shirt?
That was
Yeah.
That's Butch Jones, right?
Yeah.
How many T-shirts you ripped up, Indy Kid? Butch Jones shirts, Lane Kiffin shirts. I gave away a visor. I bought a visor because of Lane Kiffin. When he left, I gave it away. I was going to throw it in the trash.
I ripped up an It's Time shirt, and I ripped up I had one that had a few losses on it, and that 10-9 one that was it. That was the last one. I ripped it up and threw it in the yard.
It's still sitting there
We
today.
lost
Let me
next year too,
let me get caught up on super chats real quick. Drew Truesdale for 5. Thank you, Drew, for the super chat. We appreciate it. The offense works. If he can get a serviceable defense behind him, he'll be successful. We're gonna have to see how that plays out. They got to recruit better on defense. Wade Rouse for 5. Thank you for the super chat. I would try and find a place to hide at work, but I work on the ambulance, and they will find me. Go Vols. Well, maybe, just maybe, a Talkin Vols fan has a wreck, and you have to save them, and you get them in the ambulance, and the two of you can join us live here tonight. Trent Smith for $20. That is not cheap. $20 is a lot of money.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Thank you, Trent, for the big-time generous super chat. We appreciate it. I think it's about time to wrap this thing up. We're an hour and 15 minutes in. I love Fan Appreciation Night. I love fan call-in shows, man. You guys make this show what it is. You guys could be hosts of the show, legitimately. Like, this is a good 7-man panel. This has been a fun conversation.
Not with Uncle Eddie's accent over here.
Hey, we all got Uncle Eddie's accent. All right, I'm going to let you guys get out of here one at a time. Wayne, give me a one-liner, your favorite Christmas movie, a Christmas line, something. Give me a one-liner as you head out of here, Wayne.
Don't get stuck in under a mistletoe with your mama.
That's good advice, Wayne. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
This ain't Alabama.
And a Merry Christmas, Wayne.
Merry Christmas, y'all.
Hey, Merry Christmas, man.
All right, Dustin, you're on the spot. You see, Dustin, Moose, and Joel, they're like, oh, Boogie's putting me on the spot. I got to come up with something clever to say. Dustin, give us a one-liner. You can say whatever you want. The microphone is yours.
Man, I just appreciate y'all. That's a hard one to follow. I'll just say, God bless us, everyone, as Tiny Tim would say.
All right, Dustin, thanks for coming on, buddy. Have a Merry Christmas. Always a pleasure. I love when you come on, man.
Go Vols,
always fun
baby.
having you on. Later, Dustin. All right, Moose, you're on the hot seat. What do you got for us?
The only piece of advice I can give is don't eat that yellow snow. Stay away from that yellow snow.
That is a good way to go out. Thanks for coming on, Moose. I'm serious. This was a great 7-man panel. Really enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank y'all so much.
Man.
Merry Christmas,
Moose. Have a good one. All right, Joel, you're the last man standing. The 4 horsemen.
Well, all I got to say is 10-2, Atlanta. We're coming for you.
I like it, Joel. Thanks for coming on. Man. You're very generous in the way you support this channel through super chats. You're always here. You're here every week. So I was glad to have you on, and we appreciate it, man.
Love the show, guys. Man. Thanks for having me. Merry Christmas,
Joel.
guys.
Have a good one, buddy. And then there were 3. All right, man. I think we're going to wrap this thing up. You guys going to be live tomorrow night, immediately following the basketball game. What time's tip-off? 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. So make sure you guys tune in for that immediately following the basketball game. Next Wednesday, we're going to dial things in. We're going to get a little bit more serious as it will be the day before the bowl game. So make sure you tune in for that. 7 p.m. Eastern time, as always, unless something changes with basketball. I don't think they play next Wednesday. I'm pretty sure.
29th. So, yeah, it's next Wednesday, Alabama. It's late, though.
Yeah, but I don't just do this. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you click that bell for notifications. We'll let you know when we're going to go live. I would like to go live the night before, but I don't want it to mess up the basketball show.
We can do the same thing because I'm almost positive. Let me double-check it here. It should be fine. Basketball it's Alabama, the 29th. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah.
9 o'clock. So,
well, let's just do Tuesday. Let's do Tuesday next week, 7 o'clock. We'll do the football show, basketball post-game show Wednesday night, immediately following the game. Tons of video content.
11:30. So.
Tons of video content coming your way over the next week. I just want to say on behalf of Dauber and the Indy Kid, thank you guys. We appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I hope you all have a great Christmas. Spend time with your family, and we will see you guys soon. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. He is Dauber. He's the Indy Kid. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
Hey, Griswold, where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you.